Good day to all of you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an afternoon of fun, excitement, and discovery. This is Promil Ishine Talent Camp 6. Joining us this afternoon is our country's premier host, a talented actress, and a loving mother, friends. Please welcome the ultimate media star, Miss Tony Gonzaga.
And some special friends natin from the press who took their time from their busy schedules just to be with us today in our launch. We would like to formally welcome you to the launch of Ishine Talent Camp 6. And as all of you know, Promil 4 has been supporting efforts to help parents develop the talents of their children via the Ishine Talent Camp. And through this, Promil 4 has been able to instill the importance of proper parenting in order to fully support the development of children. It's Promil 4's way of fulfilling the promise of nurturing the gift. But what makes the Ishine Talent Camp 6 truly special is that it has broadened its scope to include other areas of creative and talent development in a child's growth. Ishine Talent Camp will be a venue for a child's total development. It is in partnership with some of the country's well-known and respected experts in various creative endeavors. These experts will be the ones taking charge in training, educating, and nurturing the participants during the entire duration of the talent camp. And earlier at our Kids Corner, we gave your kids the chance to engage in some of the truly artistic exercises. And a lot more is in store as we introduce to you the panel of experts who will do an actual workshop right here, right now, especially for your kids. Exciting po ba yun, mommies and daddies? Yes, hindi ba? But as we all know as parents, a child's proper development begins with proper parenting, together with proper stimulation, and of course, proper nutrition. As a parent, we would like to understand and know what kind of stimulation we should expose our child for him to fully develop his potential. And of course, as parents, we would like to know as early as possible the inclinations of our children so we can hone their talent and help them excel in what they love to do. Agree po ba kayo dyan? Yes. So to help us learn more about the role of early childhood stimulation and to guide us on how to discover our children's talent, please give a warm welcome to the Clinic Director and Consultant Developmental Behavioral Pediatrician of MedMom Institute for Human Development, Consultant on Developmental Behavioral Pedia at the Medical City, Associate Professor of Ateneo School of Medicine and Public Health, Dr. Lourdes Bernadette Tipi Sumbaito Tenisampo. Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Hello. And of course, to continue, we also have with us the President of the Philippine Center for Gifted Education, a clinical psychologist, neurotherapist, and professor in counselor education, Dr. Leticia Cecilia Penano Ho. Good afternoon, ma'am. Would you like to say hi to our friends, to the media, and to the mommies and daddies here?
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
So happy to see you, and I hope that we can have a very good conversation there.
Yes. And now, we would also like to welcome our food scientist and nutritionist, Mrs. Mary Jude Jong Icasiano. Good afternoon, everyone. Ayan. And finally, joining me to facilitate this part of the program and share her own parenting experiences is an engaging TV host, actress, and syempre kasama ko rin po siya sa Kapamilya Network. Please give a big hand for the one and only beautiful Miss Dimples Romana.
Good morning, Tony! Ay, good afternoon na pala. Good afternoon po. Hello!
Hello! Ayan, meron na tayo. Ikaw talaga ang resident dito sa Promil Ishine Eyeshine Talent Camp, hindi ba? You've been doing this for so long already.
I have been with Promil 4 and Wine Philippines for, I think, a little over 6 years. Almost 7 years
Talagang
na.
family na talaga si Dimples.
Oo, tsaka yung mga kids ko, eyeliners na talaga sila, matatawag.
Yes. So, since kompleto na ang ating panel ngayon, this afternoon, ako naman, I would just like to start with a question na, how early can you spot your kid's talent or your kid's skill? Mas-spot nyo ba yan as early as like 1 year old? Who can answer?
First.
Ayan, sige po.
But you can help me talk, no, answer.
Yes.
You begin, not the tradition is also sige. You see a lot of things in developing kids kasi. So I think for us parents, we have to be sensitive to our children's cues because very early on, you will see some inclinations already. So halimbawa, young babies might even follow a tune or they will imitate, diba? As early as even less than 1 pa, you will see that, okay, they have preference for something. Or if they like drawing, they'll begin grabbing their crayons and then trying it out themselves. So very early on, they give us cues already.
Very early on. Kasi ano man hilig ni Sevi? Napansin ko, ang hilig lang niya kumain. No?
Sa simula, ganun lang talaga.
Parang yun pala ang hilig niya.
Skill din yan.
Skill din yan na kailangang tutukan. Dapat hindi lang basta kumakain, dapat proper nutrition ang binibigay natin, hindi ba? Ako naman kay Dimples, kasi si Alonso is how old now?
Alonso is 3 years old.
3 years old na, parang kailan lang. Nakita ko yung nagpa-pictorial ka pa na you were pregnant.
No, kay Mark yun. Sabi
Diba?
mo, Mark. Kasi nung kay Callie, because Callie's already a teenager, no? Hindi pa uso nun.
That's a different story naman when
iba
you're
pa.
a
So,
teenager.
I wanted to really capture that moment. Di ba, feeling ko kasi pagka ikaw babae, pagka magkaka-baby ka, parang feeling mo ganda mo talaga. So ako, with Alonso,
Ang gusto ko naman malaman with Alonso, because now he's 3 years old, how early were you able to spot na meron siyang certain likes and skills, and paano mo na-develop yun?
you know, just like with what Dr. was talking about, Alonso catches something very quickly. So he would start humming. Maririnig mo parang, may ganyan siya eh. Tapos ang fingers niya, Tony, pag nasa car, parang nagtatap siya. So sabi ko, kasi it's totally different. I know a lot of parents will agree with me that our children, they may come from the same parents but of different characteristics. And for Callie, she was more the very ultimately creative one, but very quiet. Like me, Tony. Very quiet.
Like you?
Like us.
Yes.
Buti
Very
na lang.
quiet tayo. Shy type tayo.
Oo, alam mo naman, like Mami
mabalik
Jackie.
tayo.
Oo. Very quiet tayo, no? But ako talaga, nagulat ako kasi wala namang masyadong mahilig sa music sa amin sa pamilya. So, pwede pala yun. It will start from one of your children and then so he would do that. And now, every time makarinig siya ng music, he likes to dance. Oo, may galaw yung body niya at nasa rhythm, ha? So sabi ko, pwede pala yun na ang gift niya ito. And when I started noticing that, wala pang 2 years old.
Wala bang 2 years
Oo,
old?
parang habang naglalakad
So what did you do? Pumunta ka sa
Hindi.
workshop?
No, not yet because super aga pa. Ngayon, pwede na siyang mag-eyeshine talent camp because he's already 3 years old. But when he was smaller, ang ginagawa ko lang, I would play lots of music. He wakes up to good music. He wakes up to music of yung mga movies na pangbata. And then I would really dance with him. So I'm not really much of a dancer, but he doesn't know that. So that's not hurting anybody. Oo, so kami dalawa pa rin ang bida. So, yun. Parang, that's how little...
You encourage and you support.
Yes. Oo, at saka, you're just by him.
Yeah.
Not really imposing, but more like encouraging na, oh, anak, it's okay to dance. It's okay to listen to music and enjoy music.
You know, I read this in a book, and it really made an impact on me. That it says there, be careful when you talk to your children, because the way you talk to your children becomes their inner voice. So whatever it is that you instill in them as early as this stage, that becomes the inner voice that encourages them and inspires them to be better in life, hindi ba? And to achieve their dreams and goals. Kay Dr. TP naman, when is the best time to expose your kids in training? Kasi I was asking Dimples kanina, kung pinag-workshop naman niya yun, si Alonso, but she was saying that it was still too early for Alonso to do workshops and all those things. So how early ba can a kid be exposed to mga camp and the workshops?
I think there's no set formula, no set age. But what you want to look for will be the developmental stage of the child. So first thing you want to look for is that, is this something that my child will enjoy, diba? Kasi syempre, they have to have fun when they're doing it while they're learning the new skill, no? So number one, that's important. And then it depends on what kind of talent you want this child to develop. So you spot their inclination, but then it has to be developmentally appropriate. So take for example, learning the guitar. If the child's hands are not that strong yet, or their fingers are still too short for a regular sized guitar, then you don't put them into workshops already. But what you want to do is to identify and encourage, no? So you want to give them opportunities, you want to expose them to new skills, you want to expose them to new habits. Because it might be something that they'll finally excel in later on.
Yeah, you mentioned kanina, Dr. You said appropriate. If it's appropriate for the age of the kid, is there any appropriate stimulation, or is there such thing?
When we say stimulation, kasi it's like providing that environment that will hone the skills of the child, diba? And it's not necessarily the talent that you want to develop right away. So, take for example, I think the masters can correct me. Let's say voice. There's actually an appropriate time when you begin to take very more rigid voice lessons. No? But very early on, you can expose this child, let's say, to a musical instrument, the piano, so that they will learn the theories of music, or they will learn to nurture the beat that they have, their musicality. So you give them opportunities very early on, and it might not be, it's like pre-developing the talent. No? So you provide those kinds of opportunities. For a lot of kids, it's not that structured activity right away. Diba? Like what you did at home. It's giving them opportunities, no? But those aren't the formal lessons to begin with.
Mm-hmm. So ang first teachers talaga ng mga kids natin is the mothers, no? Because we're the first ones.
And
daddies also, hindi ba? The parents
Magagalit
talaga.
ang daddies pag hindi natin sila
Okay,
sinama.
daddies kasama kayo. So anyway, let's go back to Alonso. So he is 3 years old now. Does he go to school? What are the activities and workshops na pinasok mo na siya?
Yes, he goes to school now only because, di ba, working moms tayo, and as much as I want to be with him 24/7, I also want to, prepare a great and bright future for him, no? So at the same time, sabi ko, siguro pasok ko muna sa play school. So we have a trusted school that Callie also went to. It's nice because dahil na-experience ko na with Cal, makikita mo na, ay, perfect tong school na to kasi they also encourage play, encourage learning through play. So I like that because you have to be able to find a school that supports your parenting style para hindi nagbabago sa bahay. So ngayon, si Alonso, pinasok ko half day, para mga 2 hours lang actually, para meron siyang nakakasalamuhang iba, and he gets to be, developed as a whole. Like he gets to socialize with other children, kasi at home, Callie is already 14, walang ibang bata sa bahay. So I feel it's vital for little children to be able to communicate with people who are of the same age. And at the same time, sa akin, nung inisip ko, mag-workshop sila, so sakto, because Ishine is coming up with several workshops that he can join, and for sure, he will really enjoy. I can already tell kay Teacher Jercel siya mapupunta, kasi alam mo na yung bata, pagka-dance, oh my God, dancer siya. Minsan niyaya niya yung mga sinakuya sa mga guards, ganyan, nagiyaya siya makipagsayawan. So I like that because he's unafraid to express himself. And that's what we parents always strive to, have with our children, is to never be afraid of learning and communicating themselves.
I think it's also very important that mothers build the confidence of their
Oh,
kids,
yeah.
hindi ba, when it comes to supporting whatever it is that they want to do in life. Ako naman kay Miss Jong, ito. Miss Jong, okay. Miss Jong, I want to really know what is the proper nutrition for kids about 3 years old. About 3 years old, this time they should already be eating a varied diet. Okay? But when we speak of proper nutrition, we always have to make it a point that milk should be an integral part of their diet. We all know that for children 3 years old, they have to have the dietary sources for essential and important nutrients so that they will be able to unleash whatever talents, whatever opportunities they have for optimum growth and development. And of course, there are a lot of milk products available in the market. We just want to know what really is the difference between regular milk, other milk supplements, and Promil 4. Okay. First of all, I'd like to share with everyone here that Promil has Nutricentials. Nutricentials are actually a unique combination of essential and important nutrients. And to your question, Tony, regarding the difference between regular milk, milk supplements, and Promil, well, when we speak of Promil, Promil is actually a formulated milk. So when we speak of formulated, we are able, I represent Wyatt, so we manufacture Promil 4, which is a milk, a formula for 3 years old and above. And when we speak of milk formula, all the important and essential ingredients and nutrients are formulated or are there, the content based on recommended levels. Compared to, for example, regular milk, wherein the nutrients there are those that are actually naturally in the milk. So when we speak of age appropriateness, Dr. TP was saying about age appropriate development, then Promil 4 is formulated to meet the requirements, the nutritional requirements for children above 3 years old. So if I were a mom, of course, I should be able to be mindful on the age appropriateness of the formula or the milk I will give my kids.
Oh, and also, if I may add that ako, like I'm a mom, no? So apart from all these workshops and developments we can help our children with, it's vital for me to understand what the intake is of my child. So, kasi magkakapartner yun eh, di ba? Like for example, for proper guidance in terms of what activities he can engage himself in, and at the same time proper nutrition. Like we can give him all the vegetables, all the goodness of carbs and protein and stuff, but integral yung gatas because hindi lang enough that our children are tall. I mean, I want Alonso to be tall also, but I want him to have a strong body and a healthy, very healthy mind. Kasi again, for parents like us, especially in this generation, we want to build our children and raise them in a way that they are wholly whole. Like they're really individuals and great at physical activities, mental activities.
Be well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Yes. And regarding the recommendations, we have recommendations. We have the Philippine Dietary Reference Intakes. This will actually guide the mothers and the fathers, of course, on how much of a food and the variety of food that they should give their children across any age group.
So age-appropriate nutrition.
Yes, yes. Kay Dr. Ho naman, why is proper stimulation essential? Why do you think?
It's vital to the development of the talent or the gift that the child has. Every child has his or her own talent, her own gift. It's up to the mother and the father to identify which is the talent in. And if you take a look at the definition of talent, it's actually an above average aptitude for something which is of human performance. And so you have arts, music, athletics, and so on. And so when there is a child's tendency to favor something, then you try to address that and stimulate that. But again, as what Dr. Kiki said, you have to take a look at the prerequisites. For example, if you want your child to be a swimmer and the child does show very, very good skills in swimming, you have to consider a lot of things, like how healthy is the child. And for a child to develop to be a swimmer, he has to reach a certain height. So yung mga katulad kong mukhang stunted, they're probably not very good swimmer. Right? So there are certain prerequisites which you need to develop and which can be further developed through nutrition. Because what there is in every child for talent is what is genetic, like what was he born with. Sometimes parents say, wala sa aming pamilya yan, but meron dito. Probably you don't know that there's somewhere in the family where there is that gene that has been hiding. And so once it's seen, then you develop. So it's really nature and nurture. It's very important for the property there so that the child doesn't go way late in the development.
And also, kasi hindi din natin maiwasan. May ibang parents, they would like to instill or force talents to their kids, hindi ba, Dr. Ramo? So, what can you say about, or what is your advice to parents who, of course, when you come from a family of doctors, hindi ba? Usually, ang gusto ng parents, maging doktor din ang anak, maging swimmer, maging singer. So, how do you manage that?
One of the things that parents have, it's probably hard to accept, like you'd like your child to follow your footsteps. But then again, the child might not be interested as what you said, as what Dr. TV said. Then take a look at why is the child interested and follow it. Because there has to be the genetic predisposition. It's not, there's a...
Like, can you explain to us what is the difference between a gift and a talent?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. A gift is something where a child has above average performance in a certain area. But gift is usually related to academics. So you have gifted in math, gifted in science, etc., etc. Now, on the other hand, talent is an above average aptitude for a certain aspect of human performance. However, in Europe, they don't distinguish between gift and talent. So a lot of the programs in Europe would be programs for the gifted and talented. However, if you read Gagne, Dr. Gagne, who's a Canadian, he says that a talent, if properly developed, becomes a gift. Because the interest that was there, and provided that there is the prerequisite area that is achieved, then what happens is that with how many thousands of hours of practice, 10,000 hours of practice, to really hone it, it becomes a gift. So eventually, the gifted and the talented are the same in the sense that the performance is this way. It's very important to identify that because in the Philippines, we actually talk about the gifted, but we seldom talk about the talented. But we appreciate them when they sing, they dance, and they are usually in a show. But other than that, there is no program that is distinctive that will develop the talent into a gift. And we need that in the Philippines. And I'm glad that Wyatt is into this, and that eventually we'll be honing the skills and helping the parents do that.
Exactly. You know, there's so much to learn from each and every one here on stage this afternoon, but because of the limited time. But you know what? We still have a lot of other guests who can explain and talk to you further about honing your kids' talents and skills and the proper stimulation and proper nutrition. But just to close this conversation that we have this afternoon, what are your tips for parents who want their kids to be the best that they can be in their lives? You can start. Okay.
Siguro let me start off. When we talk about appropriateness of exposure or when to begin detecting and developing talents, what we as parents need to be sensitive to the cues or to the things that our children will show to us. So it's that sensitivity. So when is it time to identify talent? As early as possible, we want to expose our children to everything. We want to expose them to a lot of things because we don't know if this particular area or skill might be the talent that they will excel in the future. So let's be sensitive to that developmentally appropriate skills that they have.
Okay, Doctor.
for parents, all parents observe their children very well. But what we observe usually is tweaked to what we want to see. So if there's anything that we should really be very good at, is observation, empathetic observation, so that you see and you interpret what you see, not according to how you want it to be, but according to what you understand your child to be. But also, you have to remember that in developing a talent, it's not only the skill and the aptitude. What's important is also emotional development, because a lot of those who are talented and are not appreciated, they hate it, and they would like to go back and hone, but it's not honing. They develop a negative attitude towards being able to compete with the next one who's safe as beautifully as they are. They do. So be sure that you don't only take a look at the talent, you take up the emotional development and the capacity of the child to deal with adversity. Because that's what there is in the whole world, adversity.
And of course, dimples.
Tony, sa akin siguro because I totally agree with both doctors. And for me as a mom, if you have children, 2 children, 3 children, never compare the development of one children to another. Because they grow in different times, they grow in different paces. And having a child having a child who is 14 now, I'm so proud, can I just say, Kali is varsity player for tennis in La Salle. I'm so happy because when she was growing, she wanted to try figure skating, we tried that, and then she learned she didn't like it. And then she was into swimming, and then she learned, no, parang this is not yet for me. And we grew with her. When she felt like it was not for her, we were ready to accept that, regardless of whatever sacrifices as a parent we've already given. Because it's not fair for our kids to make them feel like, but we've already done this, we've already tried this. Whereas we have to be always open to what our children feel like doing at that certain point. And trusting that our children will be strong enough and smart enough to finally realize, oops, this is the one for me. And when that time comes, we will be very grateful. But if that doesn't come yet, it's okay. We can always learn with our children just the same way as they are learning from us. Kasi ang parenting naman, there's no manual. I cannot tell you how to parent Sevi. You cannot tell me about Alonso. Nobody can tell you anything. But what we can provide is all the information and learning that I get from all the doctors and everybody I would meet. And when you're a parent, you try to absorb all of that. Absorb and try to apply to our children what is applicable for our kids. So proper nutrition, proper stimulation, and proper parenting.
Yes. And of course, Dr. Jong.
Miss Jong. So, coming from what Dimples has said, our children, it is not enough that there's a talent, that there's a gift. It is important they are healthy. And that is the reason why proper nutrition will complete actually the whole. So as mothers, fathers, and parents, we have to be mindful of what we feed our children, of what we give our children. And how can we do this? We have to be very aware. We have to be very discriminating with the foods that we give them. So maybe because we are already in an era of so much information, let's just read the content of the food that we give. There are a lot of resources to find out, is this food healthy? Is this food appropriate for my child? Will this help my child reach his full potential in terms of talent, in terms of gift? Okay, so also I would like to add that in proper nutrition, we have our Nutri-Essentials. That is a very unique combination of the essential and important nutrients for age-appropriate children, especially for 3 years and above.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jong, of course, Ms. Dimples, Dr. Tepi, and of course, Dr. Ho, for such an informative conversation that we had this afternoon. And how about a big hand for our panel? Thank you very much. Tamang feeling natin, mommies and daddies, para tayong nag-master's degree about proper parenting, proper stimulation, and proper nutrition. We have learned so much from all of them. And you know what? Now, to own the stage and show